The return of the Tony Nick Show.
Action!
All right, Tony. We're going to take the plunge and try to figure this thing out today, I suppose.
We're going to plunge deep into the bowels of this thing.
Tony, you should also know everyone is inoculated.
Base reveal!
Yes, welcome to the face reveal of the Tony Nick Show, where we look older than we did last time.
Welcome to the show.
All right, so I think what we are doing today is we are going to use this resin, 3D printing UV sensitive resin by Anycubic, gray, 500 grams of it.
Which flavor is that?
Oh, this is gray tapioca flavorless.
How does that relate to pamplemousse?
Pamplemousse. Well, like the noble grapefruit, its ultraviolet wavelength is 405 nanometers.
That's great to know. So when last we left you, we were unboxing our LD-002H. And so far it seems like a pretty well put together machine. We're not super huge fans of the instructions, but part of that is because of our own stupidity.
Yes.
And today we're done with the unboxing, so you guys get to watch us do a little bit of initial setup, possibly break it, and we're going to pour some resin in and we're going to print something.
Recompose myself. So, Tony, this is your first 3D printing experience?
Absolutely my first.
This is very good. I have been around PLA printers a few times. I have used Tinkercad to print a rudimentary shape once. It was a robot hand. I said robot.
Do you have that robot hand?
I don't have the hand.
They have that hand on display at Cyberdyne Systems.
Miles Bennett Dyson.
Miles?
So does this begin for us by insertion?
How it begins for all of us.
This is God's own design.
So first thing we have to do, actually, first thing we got to do is we have to put resin in here. Before we started, we confirmed that it is currently as calibrated as I understand how to get it. So we're going to fill it up with resin. Make sure these little knobby knobs are tight. And then we're going to tell it what we want to manufacture.
What we want is the benchmark. So we are printing what is known as Benchy. Benchy, the little boat.
Is Benchy copyrighted?
I think Benchy is...
trademarked?
I'm pretty sure it's just like this public domain thing that is maybe open source or wiki.
This is the moment where we give credit to the creator of Benchy if we are expected to do so. It will flash on the screen like this.
We're going to do our research and assume that we've done the research now. And at this point, we will have explained who invented Benchy. But the placeholder for that person is Jonathan Garibaldo.
Bennett Dyson.
Bennett Dyson. He was an alumnus of all the schools.
Such a good boy he was. We're going to need some protective eyewear, which is in front of you. Give me them glasses.
Give me them chips.
And we're going to need gloves.
Where are those?
This is when we play the intermission music. Time for your exam, Mr. Creality. Mr. Dyson. So I didn't take the time to check. Oh no!
I just did that to me too.
So I didn't take the time to actually see how much resin Benchy requires, which was a little bit of a dumb move on my part because we have these little measuring lines inside of here, little fill lines, so we can just put in as much resin as we need. So I figured we'll just fill it up, I don't know, halfway and call it good. Pretty sure Benchy's pretty small. He's a little small boat.
Not the biggest of boats.
A wee little fella.
All right. Here I go again. And push button. Oh, it's going.
Ugh. We peel away the plastic protection. So this is that 2K LCD that we've been talking about. I understand that a lot of companies like this source these from cell phones. I don't know about Creality specifically, but when you got an old cell phone, you don't. Whoa! I forgot about this part.
I love that thing. It's kind of a rototom.
So now we can place this on here. No. I'm a master of screwing.
The screw master. All right.
I'm waiting for this lid to come off and spray everywhere. Delicious resin. I'm gonna turn this a little bit so I can see the fill line. I'm gonna fill this halfway. I don't remember what the fill marks were, but it's something like hundreds of milliliters for each, and I'm pretty sure this is like a 40 milliliter print. Ooh.
Are we sure there's no calibration method before we pour the liquid in?
We already did that.
Oh, God.
Can we smell this?
Well,
it smells like chemicals. We're not sure if we're supposed to wear respirators for this, and here we are sniffing it. Let's pour it in! Gluggy, gluggy! Oh, yeah.
that's the satisfaction moment we've all been waiting for.
So my understanding is that it's okay if we overfill this a little bit. I mean, we wouldn't want to overflow it, but it's okay if we put more resin than we need for this print in here, because we will be using it quite a bit over the next couple of weeks, and the resin actually can sit in here and remain inert for an extended period of time.
It's good to know.
So now we have this lovely ooze layer. This gray ooze, it's a little foamy on top. It looks, it genuinely looks like nothing I've ever seen before. I have nothing to compare this to.
Kind of reminds me of, you ever make a colloid when you're a little kid in school? Like cornstarch and stuff?
Yeah, a little.
Looks kind of like that, or maybe like paper pulp.
Where do I put the instructions?
Oh,
I want to make sure I don't screw this step. I'm pretty sure that the next step is that this build platform is submerged. Let's get this angle over here for a little Timmy.
Hey, by the way, I was reading on the website for this the other day that this machine can print dental resin.
Yes, it can print dental resin, it can print flexible resin, it can print all sorts of resin. That's one of the reasons why I bought it. This is supposed to be very easy to use, very versatile.
We can actually get into horse orthodontia.
We could get into horse orthodontia. We can print marital aids for horses. So the reason I'm back in the instructions is because I want to make sure that what I'm supposed to do is...
I'm getting this B-roll.
I'm not being entertaining right now because I'm reading what to do. Oh, I can smell it.
Yeah, it's becoming pretty pungent.
It doesn't say we needed respirators.
Unless the word mask means that.
It did say mask, didn't it? So I'm assuming it homes itself. And if it just starts printing from here, I'm pretty sure it shouldn't ruin anything.
And if it just pushes this thing down and just splashes us with... yeah.
Oh, I didn't spit in it. I didn't.
It would only... It could print...
That was you.
That was you.
Don't spit in my resin. All right, let's print something.
Let's do it. Tony, this time you will be the culprit who pushes the on-off button.
I touched it.
He done did it. Oh, God.
Oh, where's the lid?
The hat.
Let's put the lid back on. I don't want any more schmutz to get in our vat. All these little micro pubic hairs everywhere.
A lot of microaggression everywhere you go these days.
Perfect. Let's put this data sticky in. Oh, hello, new camera. Hello, welcome to party. Don't listen to my accent. That was perfectly natural and fine. Print. So we've got two options. We have 3DBenchy and we have Badonkaduk. Badonkaduk is going to be surprised for another day.
Oh, I'm so ready for this guy.
So let's click Benchy. And I don't want to click trash can. I'm going to click, look at that. Look at that little boat.
It's definitely a little benchy boat.
I didn't make that boat, but I did make those little support thingies by pushing a button that did it automatically.
Interesting.
Play.
Oh.
Oh, and here we go. We are submerging. I just feel like this must have some sort of coating that keeps the resin from sticking to it, because it is going to be submerged in the resin. I mean, look at that. And then it just goes and settles down on top of the screen. And it's printing. Oh, you can actually see the layers being printed.
What? Oh.
So this benchy is going to take approximately 3 hours to print. It takes about 4 seconds per layer.
And there were 1,060 layers.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Interesting. It's ballparking 4 hours and 20 minutes. You know what that means.
So I've noticed that between layers it lifts and then it plunges again.
You're right. Let's try to get that documented too. God damn it.
So this is one of those funny things where we really don't know if it's actually working for quite a while. One of the things that can go wrong with resin printing is the print doesn't adhere to the build plate. So when it lifts up like that, it's not actually lifting anything. We shouldn't have that problem. The first layer did print longer than the other layers. I have no way of knowing at this point what's happening.
It's just going on to the next layer, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that it's working. Oh, gods of math, bring me your blessing or bring me your wrath. I just wrote a new prayer.
It's more effective than mine.
Amen.
This seems to be printing 3D material.
Yes, as far as we know, it's working.
As far as we know, it's working.
Now, obviously, we're not going to sit here and ramble for 4 hours. I wouldn't do that to you or your children. So we're going to come back another day, and hopefully, when we do come back in a couple of days, we're going to have a beautiful, kind of wet, kind of lumpy-looking model hanging off of here, and we're going to clean it, and then we're going to put it into our curing station, where we're going to firm it up and make it beautiful and luscious, and then we're probably going to try and break it.
Something like that. One thing that has already occurred to me is that I was going to rotate this and face it towards you guys, but once we press the print process, I don't think I should invoke any unnecessary jittering.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. I do want to make sure this lid is on.
Look, 3 hours, 28 minutes.
Yeah, it should have taken 4 hours. I remember this was a 3-hour print.
That was a loud sound.
When it starts moving up, it makes a sound. It's hard to say. So that could be the sound of it pulling it away from that little drum layer.
Yeah.
Because it does have to separate it from that layer to keep it from adhering to it.
Gotcha.
And I believe that the way the build plate is designed, the models should want to preferentially stick to it. I like to believe that anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sense of what I'm seeing, and it makes some sense, given that the model's going to be ultimately upside down.
Yeah. So what's happening in here, by the way, I guess we could have mentioned this. What's happening in here is as it presses down against that LCD screen that we looked at earlier, it's lighting up certain pixels on that screen, which is allowing UV light to shine through. And it only shines through in the parts of that layer that should be solid. So it shines that UV light through those LED pixels for about 4 seconds in order to firm up the resin in that layer, and then it pulls it away from the screen, and then it sets it back down and cures another layer. Rinse, lather, repeat 1,000 times.
Yeah. It has moved on to 2% done, which is good.
Yeah, you can see it's actually it's not making that sticking noise anymore, and I think it might be because right now what it's printing is the skinny part of the support struts. We'll show you some footage of what these models actually look like probably right about now.
That was a pretty cool little cutaway to those boats that we prepared for you.
You don't get to see Badonkaduk yet.
Not yet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see, that says 32%.
My recollection is that this should only use about 45 milliliters of the resin, so I don't think I needed to put any more in. You see what I'm talking about when the platform comes out of there, it's just covered with resin.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the resin shouldn't dry unless it's exposed to UV.
Soon we will know. And soon we'll be printing Badonkaduk.
This filter really works. It has an air filter built into it. I don't smell the resin unless the lid's off. All right, well, let's jump ahead in time to when this thing is done.